Adding more windows to your house can actually make it hotter, not fewer degrees. Hotter. I know that sounds backwards, but it's one of the most common mistakes I see in home design, and it's costing people real comfort every single summer. Once you see how air actually moves through a house, you'll never look at your own windows the same way again. Here's why that happens. Most people think airflow is a counting game, more openings, more breeze. But air doesn't care how many windows you have. It cares about pressure. Airflow is a pressure problem wearing a window's clothing. Add windows in the wrong places, and you can actually cancel out the pressure difference that was moving air through your house in the first place. Get the pressure logic right, though, and even a house with just 2 windows can feel like it's got a fan running around the clock. Air, like water, doesn't move because you gave it a door. It moves because it's escaping high pressure for low pressure. Wind hitting the front of your house physically compresses the air against that wall. High pressure. The back of your house, the side away from the wind, is lower pressure, sometimes even slight suction. Open a window on the high-pressure side only and air pushes in, hits your living room like a wall, and has nowhere to go. It just pools. That's the stagnant air you felt in the hook. You didn't have a ventilation problem. You had a one-sided pressure problem. This is why cross-ventilation isn't windows on 2 sides. It's windows on the pressure gradient, one on the high side, one on the low side, ideally not lined up directly across from each other. Here's a number architects use that almost never makes it into home renovation advice. Outlet openings should be equal to or slightly larger than inlet openings. Not smaller, larger. A small inlet and a big outlet actually speeds air up as it enters, same principle as a nozzle on a hose. A big inlet and a small outlet does the opposite. It throttles the flow and air just backs up at the exit, like a traffic jam. Examples say your bedroom window facing the prevailing breeze is 3 feet wide. If the door or window on the opposite, leeward wall is a narrow 18-inch gap, you've built a bottleneck. Air enters fast, hits that narrow exit, and slows to a crawl before it ever reaches you standing in the middle of the room. Wind is the force everyone thinks about, but it's unreliable. Some days there's no breeze at all, and your whole strategy collapses. The force that works even on a still day is stack effect. Hot air rises. Always. So if your house has an opening low down and another opening higher up, even just a stairwell, a high transom window, or a vented skylight, hot air will pull itself upward and out on its own, dragging cooler air in through the low opening to replace it. No wind required. If your low opening is bigger or more accessible than your high opening, hot air gets trapped at the ceiling with nowhere efficient to escape, and it just radiates back down into the room over the evening. This is the classic top-floor apartment problem. Flat roof, small operable windows near the ceiling, and everyone wondering why the top floor is always the hottest. The fix without construction, even a $20 through-wall vent fan mounted high, or simply propping open the highest window in the house at night, changes this completely. You're not adding airflow, you're finally giving the stack effect somewhere to go. Even with perfect window placement, your furniture and interior doors can quietly kill airflow. 3 fast fixes. 1. Tall furniture directly in front of a window blocks the inlet before air even enters the room. Move the bookshelf. 2. Closed interior doors break the pressure path. If your bedroom door is shut, it doesn't matter how well the rest of the house is ventilated, that room is sealed off from the system. Crack it, or use a door with louvers/transom above it, like older homes did. 3. Ceiling fans don't create airflow through a house. They just recirculate what's already in the room. Great for comfort, useless for actually flushing hot air out. Use them with cross-ventilation, not instead of it. Last layer, and this is the one almost nobody thinks about. What's happening outside your window shapes the breeze before it ever reaches you. A hedge or wall angled correctly can actually funnel and accelerate wind toward an inlet window. Architects call this a wind scoop effect. Conversely, a solid fence placed wrong can block the exact breeze your cross-ventilation depends on. Even something as simple as a row of shrubs angled to funnel breeze toward a low window, paired with a shaded courtyard that keeps that air cool before it enters, is a passive cooling trick that predates mechanical AC by centuries. So back to that opening moment, every window open, zero breeze. Now you know exactly what was wrong. No pressure gradient, an outlet smaller than the inlet, no vertical path for hot air, and probably a closed door somewhere cutting the whole system off. Fix even 2 of those, and that same room starts moving air within minutes. If this changed how you think about your own windows, subscribe if you want the rest of this passive design series as it comes out.